Get up and brush off the dew on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Cut it and roll that dew on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Set up, they about to come through on that turf today. Turf today. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Get up. Turf today. Let's get out the way. Here comes first play.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. What's up, everybody? This is Adam Courchaine, joined by Brian Laurent, and welcome back to Turf Today. This week we're sitting down with Owen Singer, a 22-year-old already taking the superintendent's chair. Yes, you heard that right. While most people his age are still figuring out what they're going to do and what they're going to order at the bar, Owen's busy figuring out moisture management and mowing heights. He studied at the University of Guelph, he volunteered at the Canadian Open a few times, and he's been building a turf resume that would make veterans double-check the math on his birth certificate. Young, sharp, and ready to lead, let's dive into this conversation with Owen Singer. As you guys know, Turf Today is recorded on the Superintendent Network and is brought to you by Toro. When the sun comes up, your course is already one step ahead. Toro's autonomous mowing solutions are designed to give turf managers more time, more precision, and more consistency. With cutting-edge technology, Toro helps you maintain championship quality while freeing your crew to focus on what matters most. Always solving, always evolving. Oh, live on location.
Dude, I don't know how this is going to go.
With the credentials and everything, I applaud you for having the headphones on. That's awesome.
You know, always come prepared, right?
Yeah.
Semi.
So Brian's in the car. I'm assuming you're in the turf parking lot right now at Cypress?
I'm deep in the woods at Cypress, way in the back of the parking lot, down by the nursery. They're washing off mowers behind me. It's a great location.
You are right in it right now. Like
literally
right
I just said you tell me I literally just walked off the golf course and ran in here. Like I didn't know where I was going to go. Like the Wi-Fi is real spotty. Like you may lose me every now and then during this thing. So it's we don't know what we're going to get, buddy.
Little car cast. I love it.
Yeah. Yep.
How are things going down there?
Couldn't be better. Could not be better, man. It's possibly the most relaxed tournament I think I've ever been to. You know, I mean, it's really minimal afternoon maintenance, hand watering, hot spots, stuff like that. Morning shifts are going really smooth. The guys are just knocking it out of the park. It's going to be a great event. 20 players, Saturday and Sunday only. It's going to be memorable for sure. And then Jeff Marco, the golf course superintendent out here, he's been here 32 years. He's getting ready to retire in the next couple months. So this is kind of his big send off. So all his buddies, schoolmates, guys that have gone through the system here, everyone's kind of come in to support him and hang out. So it's a lot of fun, man. A lot of fun. And you're in the most beautiful place on earth too, which doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt.
Hoodie weather in the morning though, like that.
Hoodie weather pretty much most of the day. If the sun comes out, it can get a little toasty, but mid 70s or something. It's
beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah. Can't complain about that.
No, it's my kind of jam. I love it. What's cooking in your world?
We've been busy up here. Kids went back to school, so staff went way down. So we're doing a little bit more on the course, but that's always fun. I always like fall golf, fall maintenance. You get to do a few more things, and what temperatures are a little bit better. So that's been nice. And yesterday, Will had his first day of school, so I went to the course. We had a double tournament, so I went to the course and got the back nine set up.
realized we had to do some hand watering because he got smoked overnight. So did some hand watering, drove to his school, met him for his, his send off when he was great. And then went back to the course and we got the front nine set up. And then I came home because I thought we were recording yesterday. It was in my brain all week that we were doing a Thursday recording. And yeah, I text you and you're like, nah, it's tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I look at
Yeah,
my calendar. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
yeah,
So
yeah. He scared me, man.
that
Like, oh
panic for
crap.
nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, it's yeah, things are good. It's kids are going back to
How's the house
school.
coming?
House is coming along. It's we wanted it all done right away, but it takes some time. It's a process, and it's the first time we've gone through something like this. And although you want to move and you want to get everything set up and make it all perfect, but it's taken some time. So especially with the two young kids, there's not too much you can do about it.
Yeah. No, it's a never ending process. It never stops. There's always something to do.
Got to get the studio set up though. I'm in here with the desk in the corner and all my boxes, and I gotta actually put some time and effort. My wife loves interior design, and she's into like vintage stuff and antiques, and she does well with all that. So she's been throwing some ideas around about the wall or work in a corner or a different kind of chair or something like that. So we'll see. Work on it.
Just give her your mandates, the I must have this, and then let her handle the rest, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Let
Go
her go
ahead.
to town. I
Yeah,
love it. I love it, man. That's great.
yeah, it's team effort.
Yeah, no, it's awesome.
Hmm.
So our friends at Toro had a big event last night out here, a little volunteer appreciation party out at the Hay. Have
Okay.
you have you seen pictures of that place yet?
Oh, I probably have. It's not
Oh
something
my
I'm
gosh.
I'm I'm remembering right now, but nice
It's the
spot.
little it's the little par three course, Pebbles par three course. It's a little bit away from Pebble. But oh my gosh, unbelievable setting. Looking out there at the Pacific Ocean or maybe a bay, I don't know, but just unbelievable spot. They had a big putting contest for us. Yeah, just a great spot for little volunteer appreciation night. It was really, really special, man.
Thinking back, I don't know if I've seen some pictures of that place, but definitely it's been talked about. We've
It's
had people talk about it on this show. I think Michael Knoll, when he was on, he was talking about it being built and
yeah,
everything and a fun course.
it rivals the Cradle. I mean, I think I didn't get to play the Hay, but I mean the setting is unreal. It's the same, I give it like the same opportunities or possibilities as a Cradle. Like I could just sit up there on that patio for hours and hours and hours and just watch people play golf and stare out there at the ocean. Oh my God, just unbelievable. I got a guy taking a piss right over here next to me. That's nice. I don't think he knows I'm in my car.
Oh, geez. Hopefully it's just a pee. Nothing else happens.
Yeah, no, he's not squatting. We're good.
So we got Owen Singer today, who this is a fun one. He was on our short list a long time ago. I don't know why Trevor and I didn't interview him early on, but he's been on our list for a long time. Younger guy, very
Yeah,
smart guy, working his way up. Going to be taking over as superintendent. Going to be a young superintendent to take over, but if you got it, you got it. And if you're passionate about it and you're working hard and the people want you there, that's
yeah,
that's the track he's on. So he calls himself a Turf Today super fan. So he's also a big fan of the show and listens to all the episodes. And so it'll be a fun guy to get to chat with today.
yeah. Yeah, that was cool. He reached out to us and sent us all the pictures before and after stuff of his golf course and all that. Seems like a highly motivated young man that's going to be going places. It'll be nice
Yeah,
to talk to him. And he's
100%.
up he's up in Canada as well, isn't he?
Another Canadian guy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
we've been on a bit of a streak, Canadians.
Yeah, how about it? You should see the wildlife out here. It's nuts. Was just walking back to the shop right up the fairway. Massive buck just walking right right up the fairway with me. Probably
Wow.
got about 20 feet from him. He's just having a stare down with me and then go out to the point and just having a staring contest with a seal out there on 15 and 16.
Wow.
And yeah, pretty neat, man.
That's a big
There's
wildlife too.
there's no dude, that buck was huge. I got a bunch of video of it. Probably make one of the videos here this week. So
Sweet.
it's God, it's just so special out here, man.
California is such a cool place.
Uh
Is this a trip you brought your clubs with you?
no, did not bring the clubs with me. I should have. There's a lot of free time for volunteers. I mean, it's pretty much everyone wrapped up right around 8:30. The only guys out there probably still just course setup guys. Everyone else is in. Breakfast is out in the tent. So most volunteers will head out here in the next 30 minutes and pretty much have the rest of the day to themselves. So
wow.
He encouraged a lot of volunteers to bring clubs, explore the area, do whatever, So watch golf, whatever you want to do. So
yeah.
It's a very, very unique atmosphere. And I mean that in a very good way.
Yeah.
Most tournaments we're used to, morning shift starts at 3:30, back to the hotel at 10, back to the golf course at 3, evening shift then until 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, whatever it may be. And it's not that way. It's just not that way. It's so unique. It's so unique. They can't really push these greens. They're so severe. So, they've got to be mindful of speed. So, I mean, they're just basically single cut and rolling every morning. And, probably won't have to touch them. We didn't touch them again last night. May not have to touch them the rest of the week. Who knows?
What's going on, buddy?
How are you guys doing?
Outstanding, man. How are you?
I'm doing really well, going into the fall here. It's cool. It's nice.
So what do you got behind you there? A little jersey action? What's that from?
Yeah, so I'm actually in my dad's office right now. He's the head hockey coach at the University of Western Ontario, and the men's hockey program. So this is his office. Got his championship jersey in the back there. They just got good Wi-Fi in here, so that's why I'm in here.
Nice. Those are iconic jerseys in Ontario, though. The purple Western jerseys, those are famous.
Yeah, no, they're pretty cool. I really like them. A lot of history, especially a lot of history behind them too, which makes it cool.
Oh yeah. Well, Owen, we're really excited to have you on here today, man. Long time coming. I was just telling Brian, you've been on the list a long time. I don't even know the reason why Trevor and I didn't interview you in the early days of Turf Today, but we're grateful that we have you on now, and it's a great time for you to come on and tell your story. You got a lot to talk about, and we're ready to dig into things.
Awesome. No, yeah, I've really been looking forward to it too. I'm really, really happy and really appreciative you guys can fit me on here. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, man. So go ahead, get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, how you got into this industry, all the fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, no, my name's Owen Singer. I am currently the assistant superintendent at Sawmill Creek Golf Resort in Kamloops, Ontario. It's a really, really small town, I don't know, maybe 100 people. But, going back to the start, I was playing baseball, and my baseball coach in grade school was a superintendent at a local private club. And for one of my classes, it was take your kid to work day. And I'd been around the hockey rink a long time, and I didn't really want to go to work with my dad. My mom was a teacher, didn't really want to do that. So I thought, hey, let's go with my baseball coach, who's also my neighbor, family friend. He's a superintendent. So I decided to go to work with him, and I spent the day touring the course with him. First time ever really, seen behind the scenes of a golf course. I've always kind of golfed, but, this was grade 8, grade 7. So I got to hang out with him, go around the course, tour it. And that's kind of where it all started. He actually allowed me to change holes on a practice green, which is pretty cool. But as I'm sure a lot of people know, pretty confusing to start. So ever since then, he actually gave me a job, and I worked for him for many, many, many years. I always wasn't positive if, turf was going to be my thing. I didn't really think of it as an option. But kind of as I, worked along and got to experience, the different side of the industry, going to events, getting more connected, I kind of figured it definitely was going to be for me. But, all through high school, I worked for Todd Curry it was at West Haven. And, coming to kind of the end of my high school career, I worked for him, and I applied to the University of Guelph turf just because I thought it was what I wanted to do. But, I decided to take a year off, postpone doing that, and try to become a mechanic. Didn't love it. So then I actually ended up, accepting my offer to Guelph and going to school there. And ever since then, it's been, the best decision I've ever made to, stay in this industry.
Did you have Tom Shung as one of your teachers, one of your professors?
I did. I had him as our disease teacher. He's awesome.
Legend. Absolute legend. That guy.
Yep.
Championship conditions don't come easy. They're earned through long days, careful choices, and products you can count on. That's why superintendents turn to the Andersons.
From innovative nutrition to soils that unlock a course's full potential, they're here to help you push the limits of what turf can be. The Andersons, supporting the stewards of the game and the surfaces where greatness is made.
What was it about this industry that really just kind of caught your attention and made you want to continue in it then?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I've always played hockey, so kind of the family, staff, teamwork side of things really, really intrigued my interest. And at West Haven, it was always such a good crew, such a good a family. And then also I'm very interested in equipment, so I was getting to drive all sorts of different equipment like initially, and that kind of also intrigued my interest. But then once I got into learning a lot more about like growing grass and everything that goes into it, that's kind of when I really decided this is what I wanted to do. And going to school and Cam Shaw really allowed me to have some opportunities that really allowed me to experience what the industry actually really is about, and networking and getting to meet great people. So there's a bunch of different reasons why.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. And you got to play on the University of Guelph hockey team at the superintendents tournament?
Yep. Yeah, no, I did. And a lot of fun, a lot of fun. I've always played hockey. I played, ever since I was young. It's been, a big part of my life.
Yeah, it's such a cool event. We got to get more people involved in that. I was going to ask you before we get too deep into this here, is it actually true that they put you on a sprayer first day at Sawmill?
Yeah, so my super, his name's Jeremy. First day, he's like, come with me. So he had mixed it and everything, and he just said, come with me to the first green. He sprayed the first green, and then second green, he said, here you go spray the greens. I got other stuff to do.
Press this button and drive.
That's awesome. Well, that's one way to learn, or one way to get it done. Like,
no, I'm pretty sure it was Civitas. So there were definitely some racing stripes out there though.
Oh yeah,
so
that happens.
And also like I'd never really sprayed greens before or used like that Toro sprayer before. We had a John Deere at my old course, so I really everything was pretty new to me, and also like first day on the new job, I was pretty nervous. So it was an experience.
That's unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about your course. It sounds like you guys have gone through some renovations, some upgrades out there.
It was built in '99 by Doug Carrick, and then it was redesigned later on, but it had always been quite a unique property. It was it hosted the 2010 Canadian Junior Women's Amateur with Brooke Henderson. And it's very linksy, like rolling hills, elevated greens complexes. It's pretty tight track, a lot of fescue, but it had went through some hard times, and it kind of got abandoned. So when me and my boss took on the project, he needed a team, and I was, going to be one of those team members. But Sawmill was basically and virtually abandoned. It had no anything. So when we, started there, we were starting from like a true like ground zero. It was pretty much just like a hayfield.
That's crazy. So what was the process like of getting it to where it is today?
It's been quite a long process, but initially starting, so my superintendent had started the year that would be my second year in turf education school, but he had started and done some heavy core aerification just to get movement through the soil, and it was like the greens were incredibly hydrophobic, and also they really didn't have much equipment, so there was really like he would try to mow the greens and something happened. So when we started, primarily like we had to have full buy-in from the ownership, which we did get, and then to start off it was just basic maintenance, like consistent mowing, fertility, reducing compaction. The golf course was dead, so there was no POA, there was really no thatch. Just starting with consistency, giving the plant what it needs, that kind of stuff to start was like kind of the bulk of our first few months, clearing debris, getting the irrigation going, getting safety procedures put in place. Like even in the shop, like we really didn't have anything. So, really just building what we needed and what we kind of had to, like what was left there to kind of, just make it work to start. And then, moving forward, it was, we got a new Toro Links irrigation control system, which was huge. We got all new equipment pretty much. And working with our ownership to, kind of take the next step because we couldn't, do it all in the first year.
You guys basically had a blank slate. I mean, said everything was basically dead and got all new tools. You basically built a new golf course, huh?
Yeah, no, it was pretty cool. It was like a very unique experience for me coming out of school because, I kind of expected to go, to just maintain a property and, work on, tee renos. But, at Sawmill, it was everything had to get redone. All the bunkers were completely growing in. So we had to excavate them all, fix the drainage, fill them up with new sand. And then on top of that, maintain what we've already been doing. Lot of irrigation work. Part of it was like my boss had to, help get the clubhouse going and the pro shop going. And we hired, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Tim Churchill, longtime pro. Adam, you may know him. He worked at the pulpit. And building a team was a big part of it. Like, we had a really, really good assistant irrigation guy. And then kind of once we got going, we're very data-based. So every day we track clipping yield on all of our greens. So our biggest thing was consistency. So my boss has it right down to a T of exactly, where he wants to be growth-wise. And then moving forward, once we kind of got the course going, it was just improving, and every day just, trying to, bite off something else and, just project after project after project. And then, stuff came up, but we've really, really came a long way, and we are really proud of kind of what we've come up with.
You said the town's pretty small, about 100 people or so. How are you finding the people to staff the place?
Indeed, Facebook. We're pretty lucky. There are some locals who work with us. But we're also near Sarnia, which is a pretty large town, so we pull a lot from there too. Yeah. But it's also, not too far from London. One of our guys drives from half an hour. So there are other options, but we've had a few connections which have worked out.
Nice. So I want to go back to you coming out of school. I guess two-part question. The first part would be, what was that like going through the process of, okay, I'm about to graduate. I really need to find myself a job. What was that like going through there? And then also, taking over as an assistant somewhere, what did you think you brought to the table as a younger guy compared to maybe somebody else that already has some experience?
Well, first, I think it's a stressful situation for anybody leaving school because you really want to take the next step coming out of school. You really want to put yourself in a good position to have a successful career. And I wanted to find somewhere where I could excel and, manage. And where I was, it was a great property, but they already have a really, really good crew. And it was just like, I need to find somewhere else for me to go. So luckily, just networking with different people and, getting myself out there really helped. But then I thought from my side of things that I could bring a lot of new ideas to the table. I'd been in the industry, I'm only 22 now, and I've been in the industry for 6-7 years. So I've seen a lot, and I think I can bring kind of a younger approach to management. And my biggest thing is that I could bring is, I think that managing staff, you have to really give people give them their own kind of manager role for themselves, and give them jobs and let them take full responsibility, because once you give people responsibility of something, they'll do a really, really good job and their best job of it versus kind of micromanaging. And I thought I could bring kind of a new side of management to my club, which I think I did, and I think it has worked out really, really well, especially with everything we have going on. I couldn't sit and micromanage. I kind of had to let my staff take control of what they were doing and do the best of their abilities, and it worked out really well.
So what was so enticing for you about taking this job? I mean, you're going to a golf course. It sounds like was barely a golf course. I mean, was that a little scary for you?
You know what? It was a little scary, for sure, but it did have a good reputation back in the day, and kind of what I thought is, this is a great opportunity for me to kind of show what I can do in a short period of time. I can kind of show how I can not only lead and manage staff, but also to get bigger projects done. And I honestly think I couldn't have come and had a better opportunity coming out of school to really, and it also was a great learning opportunity. There's so many different things we had to do. And also on my property, there's kind of a lot of room to make mistakes and test things out. And luckily for me, I had a very, very supportive superintendent behind me who allowed me to make mistakes and, allowed me to learn and, kind of do my own thing. And I got lots and lots of autonomy because my superintendent also has another job. So I was like the day-to-day superintendent for the staff. So that was also a unique opportunity for me coming right out of school. I got to, run a turf department the way I kind of wanted to, which was really, really neat to me.
Looking back on turf school, is there anything you would have done differently? Would you have started something earlier? Would you have gone to work somewhere else? Like if you're going to kind of give advice to people coming up behind you, is there anything you would have done differently?
I think I took maybe a less traditional route. I didn't go to a super big, multi-million dollar turf facility club. I went back to where I was, which is a great club, and I got to learn from them. And I don't think I would have changed much coming out of school, to be honest. I really, really enjoyed my experience, and I kind of wish I would have went or tried out for the turf bowl team my first year, because that was one of my best experiences second year. And maybe, try to get a little more involved with the school, but overall I had the best experience ever. And I think just do what you think's best for you, and my values are family and all that kind of stuff. And I thought sticking close to home was what was going to work for me, and it did work out really, really well in the end.
We are back with another Ask the Agronomist question featuring PhD agronomist Tony Goldsby from the Andersons. Our question today comes in from Kern Sando. What is the best time of day to water, and for how long?
Awesome. Well, thank you, Adam, for again having me on the show today, and thank you to Kern Sando for submitting another great question this week. So, when I talk about watering turf, the first thing that comes to mind is really timing is everything, right? So the first part of that question, and I go back to my plant pathology days in school, right? And you really got to think about the disease triangle, and to get a pathogen present in your turf grass, really got to have three parts, right? The host, the pathogen, and the environment. And those all have to come together. And obviously, one of those key environmental factors is leaf wetness in that three-pronged approach to help that disease develop. So for me, I'm always recommending to guys and gals to make sure that they're going out there early in the morning with their waterings wherever possible. And again, you're giving your plant what it needs from an irrigation deficit perspective and replacing that. But then you're going to get that sunrise that comes up pretty soon, and you're going to start to get the wind that's blowing across the turf canopy. And all these things are going to really help to dry that canopy out, and then minimize that window where that pathogen may be able to thrive, which is, again, what you're trying to prevent during that timing question. So compare that again with late afternoon or evening timing, which, again, is not something I would recommend. You're going to have a lot longer leaf wetness period. And there again, that's where you get into trouble with potentially creating an environment where you're going to have a pathogen, starting up. Now, I do see, I was just out at the course recently during the middle of the afternoon, really hot day, right? You will see people putting out irrigation, but all these turf experts know, but maybe for some of you, or maybe that aren't turf experts that listen into the podcast, there's a practice called syringing, where we're really just trying to cool down the turf canopy during the summertime. So don't mistake that with irrigation, right? We're not trying to replace the water deficit. So you may see some golf courses that are out there putting some water down during the day, but obviously a little bit different purpose than replacing that deficit of water that you're trying to with irrigation. And then finally, when we talk about how long, right? That's a really complex question. Probably could be a whole podcast in itself. But I guess to summarize it from my perspective, I came from an irrigation type background, right? So starting with a really good irrigation audit is always going to be important. And that's going to tell you kind of what your system's application rate is and your distribution uniformity and how well it's working. And if all that's in line, kind of the gold standard is typically some kind of ET replacement. So how much evapotranspiration or water is getting lost through transpiration from the soil, or transpiration from the leaves and then evaporation from the soil. And kind of the combination of those two is typically what guys are shooting to replace. So again, it's either 100% if you're trying to put all that water back down, or maybe some fraction of that if you're trying to, push water savings and usage a little bit and get those deep roots. So I'd always recommend, if you can and you have it in the budget, have an on-site weather station, right? It'll provide you a lot of those ET parameters you need to base your irrigation scheduling off of ET. And even if you don't, there's a lot of websites like university websites, if you will, that do provide ET data or daily ET data by zip code. So it's not quite as precise as it would be if you had it on your site, but it's going to give you a really good idea of what you need to replace in your area for any given time. And then that's how you kind of set up your duration, if you will, for how much water you need to put down. So good question. A lot of pieces to that one, but that's how I would go about it, looking from both the timing being the most important. Get out there during the morning, so you have a lot of time for that to dry out during the daytime. And then if you can try to replace it with some sort of ET model with a good irrigation system, that's always going to be the way I would recommend.
Awesome, Tony. A lot of good information there. And every course is different, every microclimate is different, every area of your course is going to be different. So trying to manage all that and come up with a good program is very, very important. So good information there. The other thing I wanted to add is that being a greenkeeper means that everybody's going to ask you about watering their own home lawn. So there's some good advice right there as well. All right. Well, this wraps up another Ask the Agronomist installment featuring Dr. Tony Goldsby from the Andersons.
What's something you wish they would have taught you in turf school?
Actually, one thing they taught me that I wish I would have paid more attention to is how to clean a carburetor out.
Comes up a few times a year, right?
Quite a few times a year, yeah, unfortunately.
Was there anything surprising to you kind of when you stepped out into the workforce?
I think the biggest thing for me going into a manager role is that I didn't realize how much as like an assistant or a superintendent you have to do in a day. The amount of people you have contacting you, just the amount of duties and all the different parts of going to be a superintendent. I just didn't fully realize that kind of until I got put in that role, like how much work everyone out there is doing, and balancing your time. There's a lot to it, and I didn't realize how much there actually was to it.
So speaking of a lot of work, talk to us about your experience at the 2 Canadian Opens you worked, and we're hoping that you include something about Mr. Breer.
Yeah, so when I originally decided to go to turf school, one opportunity that came about was the 2022 Canadian Open at St. George's. And being, new to the industry, I didn't really went to school or networked or anything like that. So like that was my first experience. And I also had an experience like a golf course of that size and that magnitude. So not only from an agronomy side, seeing, how they take care of the course, and then also like the topography and, the size and the money that goes into a professional tournament. Getting to hang out with like Mark, for example, he really, really, just like, welcomed me right in. Like I wasn't nervous. He just kind of like, threw me right in and really got me talking to people. And that was honestly like the start of where I started all my networking was with Mark. And then I also got to work at the 24 Canadian Open under Jordan Kitchen at Hamilton. And it was also another great experience. Mark hyping up the crew at 4 a.m. You'll never forget that. But, getting to experience those tournaments shows me a different side of, the turf industry, and also shows me that not everyone has all the tools. And, at Sama, we don't have all the tools that I would like, but it shows me, we're doing pretty good with what we have.
Is that something you think you're going to do more of? Go to some of those tournaments and do some more volunteer work?
For sure. I think networking and going to all those tournaments is a big part of expanding as an individual, and, to meet new people and have connections. I think it'd be something. And I love doing it. I love the early mornings, and I love everything that goes into it. Like going and helping is so much fun to me.
You still talk to a bunch of people that you volunteered with at the Canadians? For sure.
Yeah, awesome. Mark definitely has stuck for sure, though.
He's a staple.
He's a piece of work.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually supposed to see him this weekend. I think he's coming down to Ottawa. I'm supposed to go out to a bar with him on Sunday to watch some football. So,
that's a big shock.
Yeah. He goes, bring the microphone. We can record a podcast. It's like, okay, Breer.
He wants to do a fourth now? Jeez,
that would good. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, we don't have enough money to book you for a 4th time, Mark. Gee. What a legend. Okay. So, Owen, we got to ask you about taking over as superintendent. Sounds like you're not too far away from doing that at 22 years old. That's a big step.
No, and so the sawmill, the plan was for me to kind of transition into the superintendent next year, because my boss, there's enough going on at our club. We just bought a driving range and we've kind of got that ready to go. There's enough going on, and he also has another job. There's enough going on a daily basis that I think I'm ready to take that step. But as of yesterday, and this podcast will be released a week from now, I took a new job as the superintendent here on Oaks, which is actually about 5 kilometers down the road from me. And as a 22-year-old, I'm really grateful for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to showing them what I can do.
And congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
man.
exciting.
Congratulations.
Dude. You're just
Good for
dropping
you.
a bomb.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's been a long time in the coming, and I'm really can't wait to, start and get going.
You got some nerves? Getting a little nervous about it?
I am getting a little bit nervous about it. I was actually telling my dad I feel pretty lucky because it is, September. So, climate wise, I'm going to be lucky. I'm not taking over in June a new property. I also have some other things in the works where luckily I'm going to have some staff who want to come with me. So luckily I won't be completely alone. I'll have, some good support system with me.
That's awesome. And you're going to figure it out, right? There's lots to learn. You're going to figure it out day by day as you go. So that's awesome, buddy. Really excited for you. And I don't know how many 22-year-old superintendents are out there right now. There can't be too many. So you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm not sure, but it's an exciting opportunity for sure.
What was the interview process like for you?
It was a little different because it was more of my super, who will now be the director of agronomy at my new club. He was with me for the entire process. So luckily I had him supporting me, and it was kind of like a team movement. So it was different. It wasn't, I would say, a traditional interview process. It was more, we are like a competing club down the road where I am right now. So my interview process was more the past 2 years, showing the owners showing the owners at my new club what I am capable of doing at Sawmill. So it was kind of actually like a longer process because they got to see kind of us turn our old property from nothing into something.
That's a great way of looking at it, right? Your work becomes your resume, and that's important for people to remember, not burning bridges and working hard so that your reputation stays the way it is, so that you can move on to those opportunities when they come. So good for you.
Thank you.
I want to hear about, you mentioned aerification a little earlier, and one of the things that you needed to do at the new course, but sounds like you've had some interesting times with aerification in the past.
You know what? I've had a lot of interesting times with aerification. So at West Haven, we had a range, and they were putting in a new system. And, the first part of the new system was they're going to put rainbird heads on their driving range facility. Just, that's the kind of stage one. So my plan, or I was told, the night before, you're going to aerify the range deck this morning. And I was excited. This was kind of, maybe I was, grade 10. So I get there, grab the aerifier, head out. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be able to see any heads, and just, I'll just go around them. So I did 3 passes, and then I was like, I haven't seen any heads yet. That's weird. So I get the assistant to come over and turn on the sprinkler system, and surely I hit 3 brand new heads right in a row with the aerifier.
Oh, that is rough.
Yeah,
and it's been a joke ever since. So that's it's funny. It's good. It turned out well.
Well, so what'd you take from that? You learned some lessons there?
Definitely learned some lessons. Flagging heads for sure. I just should have waited because they were coming up anyway. But I haven't hit a head since then with an aerifier. So that was the big thing. I'm very careful now.
I'm a firm believer, and that's how you have to learn on the golf course. Sometimes you have to make that mistake. You have to do that to go, I'm never doing that again. And, unfortunately it was 3 heads, but if it means years and years of never doing it again, maybe it was worth it.
Yeah. Did you learn some irrigation repair after that then? Go reinstall those heads?
I definitely did. And looking back at it now, I'm grateful for how my super and the assistants handled it, because now I realize how much work it is to, actually replace three heads. Especially, I know they are not all the valves worked. So like having to shut down the pumps and just to, change out three heads is quite a lot of work. And it was at the front of the range deck. So, we had to do it at some point when the range wasn't open, which is early morning. So I do feel bad, but it was a learning experience for me for sure.
Yeah. Think about it though. If you were superintendent and you send somebody out there to do it and it happened, would you feel like it was your fault or would you blame that guy?
I would, as a superintendent, I would blame it on myself because, I didn't tell him, or I didn't show him where the heads are or flag them. Which, funny enough, my superintendent said, just wait until we get up there.
Oh, okay.
But
There you go. There was some direction.
There was some direction. So it is completely on me. And that's why it's a funny joke now, but it is on me for sure.
There's a lot of lessons there. That's good.
Yeah.
But I've learned, as you kind of talked about, like now if my guys were to do that, I would know, okay, it's probably my fault. They didn't show them where the heads are, or they didn't know it would hit a head or anything like that.
All good learning.
So
gotta ask you about cutting in minus 21 degrees Celsius, which, Brian, is minus 6 degrees Fahrenheit. Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah. So Sawmill has a large irrigation pond. It would be on the west side of the property. And we didn't focus kind of on out of play areas to start. We did, initially some tree work, which there isn't a lot of trees, but all along our creek banks, we had like willows growing into our drainage, and they were fairly tall. And in the winter last year, me and Jamie Goodrow, who I'm very lucky to have on my staff, he was actually an assistant superintendent at Hamilton back in the day before he got out of the industry, and then he's back in it now. We were sitting in the shop in the winter and it was freezing cold, but it was January, and we were just like, you know what, let's bundle up and let's go cut some wood. So we went out and it was minus 21 degrees, but we got a lot done, and it was something I'll always remember because it was just so cold, but it was so fun. It was a great day.
You will not find me outside if it's that cold. There's no way. There's no way.
To be honest, I think chainsawing is the only thing you can do in that weather because that keeps you warm and keeps you going as much as you possibly can until you're gassed. But oh my gosh.
Exactly. And I didn't even get to, you don't get overheated either because it's so cold.
It's so cold, yeah.
And it was good because we were dropping some large branches onto the pond, so it was frozen. So it was actually a lot easier because we could just get right at the base than having to trek down an edge.
Yeah, it's the best time of year to do it. It's just, it gets too cold out there. I always hate sweating. You get a little sweaty, and then you have to go and sharpen your saw or do something like that, and then it gets cold and windy, and you're like, "Fuck! Now I'm freezing again." So you have to find that balance. It's a layering thing, right? Jackets on, jackets off, and yeah. Oh my gosh, I love it. I miss that part of the year because there's never anybody on the course. It's just quiet. You and your tractor and your saw.
That's coming. Exactly. Yep. It's coming.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yes, it is. As a younger superintendent, I'm assuming you've got some employees, some staff members that are much older than you. How do you go in there, earn their respect, and get them to see you kind of as their leader?
I think I've always had peers and individuals older than me who work with me, and I just think that I've always been able to connect and find a good relationship with them and getting to know them and showing them that I value them and what they bring to the table and their opinion. And I just think the way I manage my staff has kind of set me up where I manage everybody the same, even older employees, younger employees. They're all very, very part of my family, and I just think that the age doesn't matter. I treat everybody the same. And I just, if I have some older staff working for me, and if there's something that I need to change, I like to take their advice. And, they've been around, they can, provide me with insights. And I, like Jamie, I'll talk to them like, what do you think I could do better in the next month to, improve my management and, improve staff morale. And a lot of times I just think connecting with them and asking them questions on how I can be better works really, really well.
I assume you get a lot of that from your dad and your mom, about being coaches and teachers.
No, for sure. And I've worked for my dad for years, so I've I've learned a lot from them, and I'm very lucky for sure.
I mean, along those lines, expand on some of those lessons. You had to have picked some great lessons up from a coach and an educator.
I think the biggest thing I have learned overall is that there's a few different key points. I think one, I've learned that mistakes are going to happen, and they're going to happen a lot more than you probably want them to. And mistakes are one of your biggest learning experiences and something you can, grow from. I also think another thing is, being level-headed no matter the circumstances and no matter what's going on, like in hockey, the highs, the lows, everything. As a manager and as a coach, you are the leader, and you're who people look up to, and you have to be level-headed. We lost this big game, but it's okay. We're gonna move forward. We're gonna get the next one. Being very level-headed and calm to me has been a big learning experience. And I've also got the opportunity to lead hockey teams when I was younger, so I thought that also has helped me. But for sure, just being level-headed is one of my biggest things, and realizing that mistakes happen. And that another thing my superintendent always tells me, and so is my parents, is growth is a continual pattern. It never stops. And whenever you stop growing, or you stop actively trying to get better, is kind of when you're going to hit pause on your career and improving.
That's amazing, man. That's such an amazing mindset to have, especially at 22.
Right.
Like, and what's even crazier is, man, at 30, which is still considered young, at 30, you're going to look back and say that kid at 22 didn't know shit. And because we've all done it. We've all been like, I know everything. And then you get to be 30 and 35 and you look back, well, those guys didn't know anything. So I think you have a very bright future if you're able to kind of have that sort of mindset at 22. That's very important.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You guys ever face each other on the ice?
Once I kind of decided turf was for me, I kind of stopped playing hockey. And I actually work for my dad. I work for his team. I do all kinds of stuff, from equipment to fundraising to all kinds of just like little logistic stuff. I also find working for the hockey team and is a great way for me to turn off my I'd say golf brain, or else I'm the kind of person who would live at the golf course, spend all day there, and that's all I think about.
Yeah. You ever face Adam in nets?
I don't think
of rec leagues or anything.
I think once, actually,
in the tournament.
I think I've faced you once in the tournament.
Okay, nice.
We didn't win.
See a brick wall.
Yeah, we did not win that tournament. So
yeah, but your team gets more and more dangerous every year. You guys are always somebody. I'm like, if they pick up a couple guys, or you had a couple girls too, like could be good.
It's funny. Ottawa, everyone's like, we as Guelph, we kind of hoping to be in the B because higher chances at winning. But Ottawa's a team to beat in the A pool. So
that's the squad.
We're coming, but
yeah, I'm just trying to figure out a way we can find another goalie. I just hate that I have to keep playing nets every time. I'd rather play D and be able to drink and hang out every weekend.
There's not a chance they're pulling you out of nets, Adam. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I suggest it every year. I'm like, so we found a goalie. They're like, no, you're the goalie.
Yeah, no.
All right. Well, it's that time of the show. We just heard the big flash of lightning go through. So we'll do our lightning round here, which is powered by Flash Weather AI. Download their new app today. It's been very popular, and I've showed it to a few people on the course lately, and it's been really good. So definitely something to check out. Quick answers from you here, Owen. Favorite type of hole on a golf course? A par 3, a par 4, or a par 5?
Par 4, for
par
sure.
4. All right. Would you rather lose your radio for the day or lose your sunglasses for the day?
Radio for sure. I wear my sunglasses all day, every day.
Yeah.
Have you ever thrown a radio into a pond?
No, not yet. But I have had it happen to my staff.
You'll get there one day. It's a rite of passage. Biggest superstition you have on the golf course?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't have
too young.
Actually, one is it's more it's more when I'm golfing, but I only use wooden tees. That's it.
Okay.
I can only use one type of tee. That's it.
Nice. I like that.
How about on the ice?
Oh, I've got a lot of them. I think Adam would know a lot too, but like my hockey equipment, there's so many little things I have to have perfect
Yep. That's the way
for
it is.
sure.
There's a routine.
Yep. There's a very, and tape, stick, I'm very routine based.
Favorite snack to survive a long day on the course?
My guys will think this is funny, but Timbits, we love our Timbits.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's an easy snack, and the seagulls come flocking too when you show up with a box of Timmy's or a box of
Yep.
Timbits.
Yep.
Flocking. All right, two more here. Craziest thing you found on the golf course?
Craziest thing I've found. I found this was my first year at Samo. We found I was driving by the seventh green and there was a deer head just like completely just on the ground. So it obviously wolves got to it, but it was not a great sight, that's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Good morning.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, last one. One of your hidden talents outside of work.
I'm very good at sharpening hockey skates.
Oh, okay. He's worked the wheel a little bit.
I'm
Yeah.
very good at sharpening hockey skates. That's for sure.
Nice. That is a skill. That's not something
Yeah.
you can just do.
No.
Awesome. Well, good lightning round.
That's been a great addition. I love it.
That's fun to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So when are you getting started at the new place?
So I start September 19th at the new course.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it'd be 2 weeks pretty much.
You got your agenda, you got your punch list items that you want to knock out right away.
Definitely. I've got some, I'm trying to come up with a plan, like a long-term plan. And I only kind of secured this. It was yesterday that this kind of got finalized. So I definitely got, my brain's been working. I do have kind of a primary list. But I'm just kind of going to go in there and do the best I can. As a new superintendent, I want to, make an impact right off the hop for sure.
Nice. So like you said earlier, that's a great time to be going in because you can kind of see everything before the winter
Yep.
hits, have the winter
Yep.
to learn some stuff, tour the course,
Yep.
come up with some ideas, and then plan your programs and your staff and everything for next year. So that's a good time to do it because guys that take jobs in February or March or, even beginning of the season, it can be a little bit tougher. So I think you're in a good spot there. I wanted to go back to, I guess it was last year. You were down. You got selected to attend the Green Start Academy at Pinehurst. Love for you to talk to us about that.
Yeah, so that was another incredible experience for me. I applied. I think it was in September, and in October, I got an email, and I was selected, and I was I was really hoping to be selected, but I wasn't really getting my hopes up too much. So once I got selected, it was from the start. I want to say that like it was such a professional experience, even from the start, like dealing with the emails and the communication from them. It's incredibly professional and just showed, that Pinehurst, the next level they are. Even from the transportation, just getting to the facility, it had been next level. But once I got there, it was super cool. They had a bunch of tables in the Pinehurst turf facility, and then I sat down at the table, and sure enough, John Zimmer was my mentor. So we each had, each mentor had 6 or 8 assistants, and sure enough, John Zimmer was my mentor, which was pretty cool right off the start. And then it was 3 days, and it was a lot of. So we stayed at the Holly Inn, and then the Carolinas where we did all of our education, and we got to a lot of networking, a lot of meeting, some very high profile superintendents, John Zimmer, John Jeffries, Phil Kafari, Troy Flanagan, and also getting to connect and network with some high level assistants, the guys at Shinnecock, TPC Colorado. But then the basis of Green Start Academy was networking, education. There were a lot of educational sessions on building your profile as an individual, and how to get the next step in your career and to be ready for the next step. Communication, leadership, team management. We also got to play the Cradle, which was very, very cool. Tour the USGA facility down there, the new one. It was one of the best experiences of my life. I'm, very grateful that I was able to be a part of it and have such a good, John did a great job taking care of our group, and it was, a lot of fun, and I'm very thankful for it.
They take hospitality very seriously down there. It's an incredible place. So do you still keep in touch with Jay-Z at all?
Not really. He told me to reach out to him when I want to come and see the facility, or come down for a few days. But we haven't been talking a lot. He's also a very busy man. I don't want to intrude, but I've been in contact with a lot of the assistants I've met there, which is very, very cool to me. The guys from Shinnecock, they've said I can come down and volunteer for the Open, which, next year, which would be a great experience for me. And I still have been in contact with a lot of the guys I've met there, for sure.
That's great. So how do those connections help you in your professional setting?
I think it opens up a lot of opportunities for me. Like meeting a lot of these individuals, getting to go, like I'm going to go to Shinnecock, getting to go to all these different places and volunteer and see their properties. That is definitely a first. But then another big thing for me is having those connections, and just being able to call them as now a new superintendent, getting to call them and have their knowledge and ask them questions will definitely help me as an individual, on the golf course succeed agronomy wise. And not only that, just getting to learn, as I move into kind of a heavy membership based club, calling them and asking them, how can I, do things differently, or how do you, put your members first, or how do you increase membership communication, or how do you run things? Just being able to talk with them, I think really will help me in my career. And same as like I could call Mark Prier any day, and he'd be more than happy to sit and talk to me and give me, insight, which I think is very beneficial moving forward.
You might get about a minute of advice from him, and then 25 minutes of just randomness, I think.
No, for sure.
Oh, and you're only going to find as you go too. It's just going to happen more and more. And the people or know people, and then they know each other, and now you're instant friends. And it's crazy how that grows organically. And then just being a good person, being a good leader, having a good reputation, it's only going to help grow. So this is really cool getting to talk to you, man. A younger guy in our industry that really, has a lot of drive and has a lot of knowledge about what's going on. And I think you're very well rounded as well. Having a good upbringing and putting importance on doing things outside of just working at the golf course, I think is really important, and something that people need to kind of put more awareness on, because we are so busy with our lives. So I think you do a really good job with that. So if there's anything else you wanted to sort of bring up today and talk about, more than welcome to.
I don't think I have a lot more that I want to touch on. I really appreciate the opportunity to do this, and I love what you guys are doing. I love listening. And as an individual, I'm dating my boyfriend's name is Griffin. He's been a big support for me. And I think, making sure that they know how grateful you are for, everything they do for you. He is very, very great and helps a lot. And, really understands what my work takes. So I think it's important that everyone has there's somebody behind them that really cares for them, and just letting them know how appreciative you are of them. And also my family's been great, and just making sure everyone is appreciative of everyone around them and letting them know that. And my superintendent and everyone who's helped me get to where I am, from Joel Johnston to Todd Curry and Cam Shaw and like the Guelph program, just being grateful for everything you've kind of had is just, I think, very important, and making sure people know that.
Yep, absolutely. Your support system is everything. There's no question.
No, and I just appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk, and it was very good chatting with you guys.
Yeah, now you're going places, Owen. You got a great head on your shoulders there, and great perspective for 22. So wish you all the best in your new role, and please keep us updated. And if there's anything we can help you with, don't ever hesitate to reach out.
I will do, and I appreciate it again, and have a good day, guys.
Yeah, you too, man. This was, I know it was a little shaky to start, but I thought you did really well today. Like, this is going to be a great interview. So good for you.
Great. Yeah. Thanks. And I'm glad we could get connected. I was a little worried there for a minute.
Yeah. No, I was saying to Brian, I'm like, if I was young like that, I'd be freaking out right now. So we were just sitting here chatting, waiting for you. It was all good.
No, for sure. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
All right.
Hey, this episode of Turf Today is brought to you by Stainer Golf Company. Employee owned and made in the USA, we are always looking ahead. For 2025, we've launched more than 20 brand new products to assist in your job both on and off the course. Stainer Golf has been trusted since 1910 with cups, flag sticks, flags, bunker rakes, and so much more. Check out what's new at stainergolf.com. Stainer Golf, because your course deserves the best products with the best customer service and always on-time delivery. And while we're here, we just want to say happy Thank a Superintendent Day. From all of us at Stainer Golf, we appreciate all your hard work in making golf one of the best sports in the world. Now back to Turf Today.
That was so cool. So good.
Yeah, sharp guy.
Yeah, and it kind of works out well. Like, you know, if we had have even interviewed him a week ago, his life would have been completely different. So it was really cool to get to talk to him like a day after his career changes and he accepts his first superintendent's job. So I'm really excited for him. Be somebody to definitely watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff.
Yeah, buddy. Well, won't keep you too long today. You got to get back to work there or go take a nap or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I'm dragging ass. I don't know. It's probably the combination of the crazy schedule and the after work functions.
Yes. Of that.
There's a lot of that.
Plus the time change to, you know.
That should be easy. It's obviously 3 hours behind. The morning should be a little easier, but when you're staying up late, that doesn't help.
Catches up to you.
Yeah, It does. But yeah, man, no, it's all good.
Okay, buddy.
I gotta get back to it. So we'll talk soon.
All right. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Send me some pictures.
Yeah, we'll do.
That is going to do it for us today. Another great week, another great episode. Thank you so much to Owen for, lending himself to us at such a young age. Like I said in the interview, I think it's so cool that we got him the day after he makes this big decision and gets to kind of start the next chapter of his life. And, I think there's so many people that are already supporting him, and hopefully after hearing this and, the people that he gets to meet throughout his journey, there's only going to be more support that comes along his way. So very, very fortunate to have him on the show today and get to tell his story. And we have a really, really cool one next week. We're really looking forward to letting you guys hear all about that. It's gonna be exciting. It's probably one of the ones I've been most nervous for in a while. So it'll be good. This episode drops on Thank a Superintendent Day or Thank a Greenkeeper Day, whatever you like to celebrate, however you like to put it. It's a big job, and we're grateful that we get to support those guys, men and women, and everybody that does the job. It's a beautiful thing. It's a hardworking industry, and I don't think the superintendents could do it without their crew. So they would say, thank you to their greenkeepers and mechanics and everybody that kind of helps at the golf course and helps keep everything as sharp as possible. We're very fortunate to be in this industry and have the folks that go to work every morning right before the sun comes up to be able to provide for such an amazing industry. So we want to say thank you, to everybody out there. Thank you for everything you do. And as we have said before, and our message this year for sure is to take care of your mental health. Take a minute, think about what you got going on. If you have to talk to somebody, talk to somebody. It's hard sometimes to catch a break when you're such a busy person. You have so much going on. You might have a family, but you got to take a minute sometimes to just evaluate what you got going on, make sure everything is right. And if it isn't, figure out who you need to talk to, figure out what you need to do. Maybe it's some time off. Maybe it's a sit down with an old friend or somebody you haven't chatted with in a while. You need to pick the phone up. There's a lot of good things that can help us, and I want to make sure everybody just understands that this is a hard industry, but it is just grass. And the people are why we do this, and we need to take care of ourselves before we can take care of everybody else. It's just what it comes down to. So thank you, everybody in this industry, for what you do. I hope you get a lot of handshakes at the golf course. And last week we played a really cool song to end the episode. That was Majors with Thinking About, and it was stuck in my head for a while after playing it. I don't know if anybody else went through that, but a golf song's always cool. The lyrics all about golf. And that's what these guys are all about. They've got a really cool thing going, and they've been telling us that they're actually writing a song about greenkeepers or about the superintendent. So we're looking forward to that coming out. And they said they wanted to come on the show and maybe play it for us. So we got that in the pipeline. It's cool how there's more and more light being shown on what we're doing, what the superintendents, what greenkeepers, what the turf industry is doing. Because we're not just the slaves underneath and not just the servants that go before the game. We are right there involved, and we're listening, and we're trying to help, and we're trying to make this place better. So from us to you guys, thank you so much. Keep your reels sharp. Here is another track from Majors.